Hi guys, my name is Kwan,
And I am Stephanie.
And I'm Srinivas.
and today we're gonna talk about the topic number seeing things with new eyes. And in this discussion, I will split it into three main questions and three main headings, as you can see. The first one is time to change. The second one is preconceived notions, and the last one is seeing things with new eyes. So to start with the first one, please welcome Gopa.
Thank you, Kwan. My topic is how people need sometimes to see things with new eyes. We need to change the way we look at things sometimes, since it gives us a feeling of discovery and novelty to the same piece of literature. These are some of the ways one can see things with new eyes. According to Marcel Proust, the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Uh, we can immerse ourselves in someone else's experience and see the same story from a different point of view, and enclosing ourselves in the story. And by questioning all of our preconceptions and preconceived notions and exploring new ideas, we can really question our preconceptions. And the third way of seeing things with new eyes is by realizing that learning is a lot more fun and exciting than just knowing. And the only way to learn is by making a lot of mistakes and doing the task better to achieve our goals next time. And according to scientists, like, we can change our ideas by uh, by exploring new ideas and acting on it. And since that act becomes a habit and changes our way of thinking. According to scientists, it takes around 21 to 66 days for an average person to change their ideas. And these are the three ways one can change their, one can see the same old things with new eyes. I'm handing it over to Stephanie.
So right now I'm going to discuss on preconceived notions. How our preconceived notions often affect our understanding. First of all, our preconceived notions shape our thoughts about the world and everything else. It is like the foundation of a building. However, our preconceived notions can be a block for us from free thoughts, since we often believe and trust the first ideas or thoughts that has been introduced to us. These thoughts form preconceived notions to avoid us receiving any new ideas, beliefs, or thoughts. So let's now move on to the first perspective, the people from Omelas. The people who walk away from Omelas in The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas are a minority of adults, even though their preconceptions of sacrificing for a greater good still exist, but they form some sort of rebel conscience, the conscience of disagreeing with the move of torturing a kid for a better future. So they decided to leave the city to seek for elsewhere to live. By the effect of their preconceived notions, which is the kid makes Omelas great, instead of saving the kid, they withdraw themselves from the situation to reduce the guiltiness in them. Now let's move on to the second perspective, the kid's perspective. The kid's preconceived notions to the world does not start with a little room. Therefore, the kid was not in the room. And when the kid was in the room, the kid would shout, yell, and ask for help from the outside, which is a source of the suffer as well. The despair of might not be able to get out ever again eventually shuts the kid down. If the kid is born in the room and never seen the outside world, the kid would definitely won't feel the same, because according to the kid's preconceived notions, the world is a room. And this is the reason why most of the people from Omelas feel guilty, but they won't rescue the kid. The preconceived notions limited them to do so. And now I'm going to hand it over to Kwon for the third part.
Thank you. So in this third part, it will be called seeing things with new eyes. And in this part, I will bring you the solutions and the new version of the story that we created. So, but before we come into that two small parts, I would like to introduce you like some general ideas. So the first thing we know when we read from the story, that is the kid in this story represents the poor, and the citizens represent the rich in the society, in the real world. And if you consider this society as a scale and two group of people as two sides of the scale, so you know, like obviously it is impossible to get both sides of the scale to go up at one time, right? One has to go down for the other one to go up. So we can say it, you know, like using a saying like there's no happiness without sufferings. So how can we solve this? How can we solve this problem? So here I came with the solution today, which is called upgrading the living condition or sharing the benefits. So first is why. The first thing we have to know is like it is what it is. If the kid has to stay there in order to bring happiness and benefits for the citizen of the Omelas, and then let him be there. But we should come with a new, like a better condition for him, right? Like for example, we can turn his basement, his humid and dirty basement, into the playground or bring school down there to the underground. And therefore, this is the solution, sharing the benefits from the rich to the poor. And what I want to say that don't try to reach one side of the scale only. It could be utopia for one group of the people, but dystopia for the other group. And to get this idea more clearly, we can go with the new version, like the new version of the story that we created. So we start from when the young people decided to leave the city, right? In the end of the story, at the end of the story, the young people decided to leave the city because they cannot bear it anymore. But then there's one man who has the new idea. He said, like, guys, we are the young people. We are the new energy of the Omelas. We are fulfilled by knowledge and live in a perfect conditioned world. So why do we have to run away? Because like if we run away, there would be no difference to say that we are just the dumb people, but you know, want to do the good job. Impossible. So there's one saying from the crowd, you know, he asked, so what are you gonna do? Rescue the kid and then turn this place into dystopia or make the whole city collapse? The guy said, well, as you know, that's what we want to do. But at the same time, we have to maintain the happiness of those other people. So how about sharing the benefits from our city to down there, to in the basement, or you know, in the other words? It would be upgrading his condition, upgrading his room. And then the whole crowd praised, like, wow, how can we not think about it? And one of the guys said, we can turn his room into the playground with our wealth and knowledge so that he won't have to suffer anymore. The other one said, well, we can bring school down there, you know, like an underground city so that he has more friends. And then a lot of ideas were brought up. And finally, they returned to the city, they returned to Omelas and start doing what they said. So that is the new version of our solution to this problem. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
That's all for our presentation, and we hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Goodbye.